This man had lost his mind. He grabbed a tube of blue toxic liquid and injected it straight into his main artery. Almost instantly, his skin began to dissolve, revealing every detail of his muscles and veins. But even more bizarre, his muscles soon started to vanish as well, exposing his pale white bones. Within moments, he had turned into a full skeleton. What happened next was beyond belief. His bones began to turn transparent, and eventually they disappeared completely. He had become utterly invisible. It turned out this was part of a human invisibility experiment, and David was the first successful subject. Despite being invisible, he still had a physical presence, and his location could only be tracked with thermal imaging. With this incredible power, David started to see endless possibilities. That night, while the blonde woman was fast asleep, he crept into her room, gently touched her hair, and began unbuttoning her shirt. Just as he was about to take things further, she suddenly woke up, terrified. David quickly fled back to the lab. The next day, she ran some tests on him and asked if he had left the lab during the night. David flatly denied it. After messing with her, David turned his attention to Emily, but Emily already had feelings for someone else and bluntly rejected him. 3 days later, the invisibility trial ended. They began injecting David with the restoration serum. As the drug entered his body, his veins and organs slowly became visible again, but the serum was still unstable. David felt an excruciating pain throughout his body. His skin barely reappeared before starting to melt again. He screamed in agony before passing out. They rushed him onto a bed and tried to resuscitate him, but his flesh faded once more, returning him to a skeletal state, then to full invisibility. The recovery attempt had failed. To make it easier to find him, the team created a silicone head mold and poked a few holes in it to turn it into a basic mask. By the 10th day, they still hadn't found a way to restore him. David's mood grew more unstable, and he was getting restless from being cooped up in the lab. One day, he took his convertible out for some fresh air. While waiting at a red light, 2 kids nearby stared in fascination at his strange headgear. When David returned home, he noticed an attractive woman across the street preparing to take a shower. Lonely and starved for attention, he couldn't help but stare. He removed his gloves and looked into the mirror at his invisible eyes, and a deeply disturbing thought began to form in his mind.